Whew. Happy Fri YAY!
Happy Fri YAY!
Woohoo! We made it!
Finally.
I know.
It's Friday.
This week has seemed long.
It's been a very crazy week. Very roller coaster for me.
Oh, yeah, you've had some stuff.
Yeah.
It's all good though.
Adulting.
Adulting, indeed. So welcome to 5 Minute-ish Fri YAY. Today is Q&A, live Q&A. For the past 12-ish weeks, 10, 12 weeks. We've been talking about all things
summer.
branding.
All
so,
summer.
Yeah, pretty much all summer. We've been talking about all things branding, and so today is Q&A time. And we're going to go back and review. Laura, come on in here. We're just doing a live Q&A about branding, because that's what we've been talking about for the past couple of months.
Yeah.
So.
Are you live right now?
Yeah, we are. Do you want to come say hi?
No, but I have to squeeze behind you to get you.
Sorry, we're blocking the way to your office, by the way. I should have warned you. Everyone, Laura from Disconnect. Kara and I earlier said when we were setting up, we're like, we might just put Laura on the spot. Nobody, because we're doing a live Q&A. If no one chimes in with questions, we have a few that were submitted, but I was like, Laura's seen a lot of things in her time as a designer and business owner. So yeah, we were plotting against you anyway.
So tell me, what's the subject?
So it's branding. So all things, we've been talking about all kinds of different pieces to branding for the past several weeks. So today is just Q&A time before we jump into our next subject starting next week. Thought we'd go ahead and answer some questions that people have had along the way. And
are you waiting for people to jump
just
on?
Just waiting for people to jump on. We did have a couple questions that were submitted ahead of time, so I've got those to the side, but if anyone wants to jump on while we're sitting here.
Well, maybe you can do a commercial in the meantime of your upcoming workshops.
Ooh. That's a great idea. I love the way she thinks.
Yes.
Yeah, we actually do have some good workshops on the calendar as always. So
next week, right?
Yep, next week, Tuesday the 27th, we'll be right here at BizConnect where we're sitting right now. And it is Instagram marketing for beginners. So
I'll be here.
Yeah, we're gonna have a good little bit of strategy, introduction to Instagram, how to use hashtags. Different things about how to optimize your profile and just some of the different tools that are built in, so you can kind of just get a good overview of really how to maximize your efforts with Instagram marketing.
And they can sign up at bizconnecthr.com.
Yeah, did you hear that? Yep, so sign up on the BizConnect website. We will have a really fun class, I promise. Also that same day from 12:30 to 2:30, I have another content cohort. So it'll be our second one this month, where we just come together, share ideas, plan content. The last one was really fun. We had a real estate agent and an artist who also is a publisher of poetry books.
That's fun.
Yeah, and it was
sounds like a good group.
It was so much fun to have just sit and kind of learn the different tools and things, ideas that come from different industries that are completely transferable, but you just may not necessarily think about. So, so that was a good time. I enjoyed it. I think everyone else did too. I'm just gonna look here and see. Looks like we have a viewer here with us. Oh. All right, so talking about branding. It's been really fun to talk about branding for the past several months or a couple of months. And we've talked about a pretty wide variety of branding topics from just the beginning.
Yeah, we've drilled in, I think, the importance of it and stressed some things that most people don't think of. And
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just kind of helping people get that kind of baseline knowledge of how it works. And I'm waving at the Pure Bar, or no, the medical aesthetics ladies walking by over there, our neighbors.
Yeah, we kind of gave, kind of like giving a degree in summer.
Right.
Nice little summer class of
Branding 101, if you will. Just to kind of help get you all started and have all of the things lined up so that when you're really starting to work on your brand, whether you're just starting something new, or you're rebranding, or you're just trying to kind of hone it in a little bit further, we just want everyone to really dig in and kind of have that foundation to build off of.
Yeah.
So
I just shared your live on the BizConnect member only group and said, join in and ask some questions.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Come on over. It's noon on Friday. People are probably like,
we should like tea.
Taking a lunch break. I don't know. Come hang out with us for a little bit. In the meantime, we'll go ahead and I'll pull one of the questions that we got submitted ahead of time. So one of the questions was, if I'm starting out to just build a brand right now, if I've got an idea for something I want to start, what are some good tools or resources or processes that you'd recommend for helping me get started?
If we're talking about, are we talking about like for content purposes?
So just like starting out, trying to develop your brand, I think, like really kind of, taking your idea and making it come to life. How do you go through that process? So one of the things I think about that we do with all of our clients is a mood board kind of situation where first we dig into like, who are you? What do you want to express? Who are you trying to reach? And we do that through sharing a mood board. Usually it's on Pinterest.
But there's other ways.
To do it.
If you don't have a Pinterest, you can always do the good old-fashioned way of cutting up magazines and having a poster board and placing them on the board. And
I like that idea. That's fun too.
Sometimes it honestly will help you if you're even in a rut with online and stuff. Sometimes trying a different kind of like physical activity, not physical, but like you're cutting the paper, you're pasting it, and kind of sometimes you'll subconsciously put things together that actually go well together.
Nice. That's a fun way to do it. I like that. Another thing is there's plenty of sources out there on the internet for this. I don't have like a prime example except for we send out a questionnaire when we're like gonna help someone design a logo and develop a brand.
Sometimes there's quizzes that will you could go through and you can answer the questions and it'll tell you kind of like what style is more your personality, like if you're more modern or more feminine. There's sometimes quizzes that can help you kind of define your style as well.
Yeah. I think those are some really fun and different ways to go about it, to get started and get your brain really, really going in the right direction. I think that there's I was trying to see.
People watching.
Oh yeah, Laura is watching. I'm watching. I have it pulled up on the tablet here so we can see.
And I think another good resource is just looking at other people in your industry and kind of seeing what they're doing. Come up with things, a list of things you do like that they do, things that you like that you don't like that they do, and then things that if you have ideas pop up of how you can do something differently.
Right. Looks like we have
a comment.
We have a comment. So BizConnect, can you talk about the importance of consistency in your branding from your logo, online presence, social media marketing, personal image, etc.? Oh yeah, all day. Thank you for for that, Laura. BizConnect for commenting, and I can hear her giggling around the corner. Yeah, absolutely. The importance of consistency is so. This is something that I always mention in all of our workshops. Basically, is when you're trying to establish a brand or establish a successful company, it's important to be consistent because
what's how you establish who you are.
There's so much noise out there, right? We live in this digital world where, and even not digitally, like just in person, the average American Adult, I've heard numbers from 8,000 to 10,000 brand images per day. So that's a lot of competition out there to really stand out in that crowd and make your presence memorable.
Yeah.
You have to be memorable and not in a bad way.
Yeah.
So that's part of the key. So it's really important to make sure that it flows and that no matter where someone finds your information, that it's recognizable that it's from you, from the same company.
Yeah.
So just having it really consistent is absolutely crucial. Not only in, you know, the visual aspect of it either, but in the messaging, in the tone, in the voice, just down to the core. It matters.
Yep.
Yeah, so that was a great question. Hi, Teresa. Teresa Van Cleek says, hi, ladies. Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Laura. Thanks for that question. That was great.
You're welcome.
So we also have another question that was submitted beforehand, and I'll ask that real quick. So I have multiple target audiences. Does that mean I should have multiple brands?
Ooh.
That's a tricky one, because it can be that would work,
Makes sense.
right?
I
Or
think
make sense?
I think it would depend on how vastly different they are. If they have similarities, sometimes you can work it into one, but if it's such a complete opposite thing, I'm trying to think of maybe an example offhand why in a scenario why you would want them to be different. Maybe if they're in different kind of markets.
Right. Think about, you know, if one art audience is just very local, you know, if you have something that's a very local product or service, you don't want to confuse people who are in a totally different part of the world or a different culture, or you might want to have two different brands for that, I would think.
Yeah. I was thinking even, different fields of retail and stuff too.
Right.
Sometimes you can put them all under the same umbrella, but I guess if like you were selling medical sales, but then you also had, you know, merchandise or food, you really wouldn't want that to all be in the same category.
Yeah, it's just, I would say for the most part, probably not. For the kind of the audience that we have, I would say generally you can probably put everything together in one place. Or find the common denominator that brings that whole audience together.
Right. And, you know, sometimes projects, like for instance, if you are a blogger or an influencer and then you want to start a podcast, it would depend on, do you have a co-host or is it just yourself, also kind of an extension of your brand? If you're having a co-host and it's different than your own particular brand, you might want to have a separate brand for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think when you said blogger, of course I think about our most recent blogger client, Taylor. And so Taylor is a blogger. She writes about a wide variety of topics, though. So she writes about military life because she's a military spouse. She writes about travel because she's a big traveler. And being a military spouse right now, she just PCS'd to Germany. And she also writes about social issues because she's a social worker by trade.
Right.
So she has kind of very different aspects of life that she's very knowledgeable in.
But it still works under one
But
brand.
it all comes together under one. Yeah, one brand.
Yeah.
So it works for her. So you can pull that all together. If you want a really solid example of how it all makes sense and comes together, go to taylorpatrice.com. That's a prime example, I think. Shout out to Taylor. We love you. Haley is on with us. Hi, Haley. Does anyone else have questions out there? So please go ahead and submit your questions in the comments.
Comment below.
We're just gonna hang out and do some.
Okay, sorry. I don't know who it was, but
sorry, whoever's calling, we're busy right now. Meredith says, hi, beauties. Hello, Meredith. Happy Friday, lady. Missed you at BizConnect this morning. Oh, can y'all hear Pure Bar next door?
Dancing.
right?
Puts you in a good mood.
Yeah, it does. It's fun. Let's see. Do you have another question here? Here's a good one that we got. So, do I need a logo in order to build a brand? Designer, share your thoughts.
I personally believe you do, especially if you want it to be successful, especially in this day and age with so much competition, and vastly everyone being kind of in the same realm and scheme of things, and being exposed to different individual companies, big companies, large, small, whatever, and worldwide, to make you more competitive. I would say yes.
Yeah, for the most part. I think a lot of people, though, probably assume like building a brand, having a logo means like having some kind of artistic element to the name of their. You don't necessarily need that. Like your type can be your logo.
Right, correct.
So let's
like we talked about last week.
We did talk about that last week about fonts, and I loved our font episode.
Typography,
yeah. Typography, nerdiness, real big time last week. So go back and watch that one if you missed it. But I think that, you don't necessarily need like that graphic representation. It can just be type that is your logo.
Yeah.
But you do have to have something like that in order to build a brand.
Kind of give a visual representation of something, of a company that you're building. And like we always say, if you want to or you have to later on, you can always rebrand.
Yeah, absolutely. Rebranding is an option.
It is.
BizConnect. Frequently I see Facebook business pages with the most random profile photos and cover photos. What advice do you have for people branding their Facebook page? What should be their profile photo and cover, etc.? I have real strong opinions on this one. Okay, so Facebook and social media profiles in general. So for Facebook, their community standards actually for pages state, if we're going to be rule followers at all, we should probably have our logo is in the profile photo. Your logo is not supposed to go in the cover image, but it can in certain ways. So
right, like a watermark or off to the side, or if it's incorporated along with something else.
Right. Typically for cover photos, I think it's a great opportunity to display a little bit more information. Now, you can do that in different ways. So you can switch out images if you have a lot of events. Like Laura has a lot of events, so sometimes she'll switch out images of pictures, professional photos from her events. If you look at the cover image on our page, so we have a little slideshow that you can click through and see like a list of services, and just some more contact information. You can kind of do some different stuff with that, but you definitely want it to be clear, optimally sized, because there are particular sizes that those platforms want in those spaces. So, for example, our profile photo, we don't have our full logo as the profile photo. We have our alt logo, just the C/C, because if we did create Captivate Digital Marketing in there, it would be
really small.
Teeny tiny. It would be really hard to read.
Right.
So we still have that professional logo style image in there. Now, if you're a personal brand, a nice headshot is great in there.
Yes.
As long as it's recognizable and people associate you specifically with your organization.
And if it's a personal like blog or business, have it just of yourself, unless you have a team member.
Right.
But if it's just you, have it to be just you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it gets kind of hard to tell.
I've seen everything in my day too, right? So I've seen someone that's like taken a picture of their business card and put it. I wouldn't do that. Sorry if anyone has that, but you know, it's just, you want to present yourself in the most professional way possible, and that's one of the first things people see when they look at your business on a social profile. Or if you're commenting on something, your profile image is the first thing they see.
And that's what I was about to bring up. Make sure what's in the image is closer up, because on phones and even screens, sometimes it's really hard to see what people have in that bubble, which gets people to go to your page, but still it's, you know, you're like squinting, you're trying to zoom in, you can't really see what's going on, so make sure it's visually appealing and good quality.
Yeah, and easy to see in all the different ways that people might be seeing it. So whether,
stories,
you know, they're coming, you know, they're not necessarily coming to your page when they see your information. They're seeing it on another post that you've commented on or something.
The group, your story above on the homepage.
Right. Yeah, so just be aware of all of that. I would just say keep it clean, keep it nice and bright, well lit. Your images need to have good lighting, and you don't need to necessarily go buy a fancy camera. I mean, if you can invest into having branded photos taken, please do.
Please do, but if the weather is good outside,
natural light.
Natural light is your best friend. Either by a large window or outside, and you know, taking a few various shots. That we have some options that you can choose from. Because not always when you put it in that circle does one look really great. Sometimes it could be a different one.
Right. A shameless self-promotion moment. So we're using our ring light right now, and anyone who comes to our content cohort, which happens twice a month, anyone who comes to that and buys a $15 ticket for that 2-hour session, I always have my camera here. I always have the ring light, and we also have our photo box if you have products to take pictures of. And you can take pictures with your phone, or I'll take a picture if you need. I've done a quick, like, nice LinkedIn headshot real quick. If you just need something for now until you can invest into those services.
And if people come to your Instagram class in the morning, they can learn what to do, and then they can go to the content cohort and get the things you need, and then go home and try it out.
I mean, really, for a $15 ticket, you could just come and get your picture taken real quick and have that LinkedIn photo for $15. Like, it's, you know,
it's probably cheaper than paying for.
Oh yeah, definitely. And eventually, maybe you do want to go that route, but like, we just really want to help get people started, and you know, I understand that
it's our goal.
Yeah, we just want you to have something that looks nice.
It's the goal of the brand.
Summer. Nice and professional. No
blurry pictures.
No.
Half your head.
Right.
Half your head.
Or pictures from 20 years ago.
Or my favorite is when it's like a big group shot and then they crop themselves, but they're still like nonsense.
Shoulders all around them.
And then it's like blurry.
Yeah. I mean, we've all been there, right?
Oh yeah. If you search through my old photos, I'm sure that all of them are that way.
So those are some things to think about when you're branding yourself on social media too. Is just making sure you have like really crisp, clean photos to use. And there are tools out there too that will put them in the perfect sizes for those spots. If you can't afford to have someone do that for you, look at something like Canva. Canva has all the templates for every platform out there. It's really easy to use.
Yeah, Fri YAY has like a lot of helpful things on there too. Honestly, your phone is your best tool too. I mean, the pictures that your phone can take nowadays is phenomenal, and the apps you can get for different photo tools, a lot of them are free. There's a lot of tools at your disposal. I mean, eventually we can always go on here and comment some of our favorite websites to get things from, and then as well as apps that we use for our own stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. We're happy to toss those into the conversation here later. So let's see. Do we have any more questions? I don't think we have any more questions from the audience at the moment, but
we got one more.
We have like 2 more.
Oh.
Yeah.
surprise me there.
So the next one is, I've come up with a great name for my business or brand. Do I need to trademark it? That's a fun question.
I would think yes, but I don't really know.
Yeah, so I mean, I think
If
it's really something different and unique. So the thing with trademarking is, I've actually helped. It does take some time, and you have to have something really different in order to trademark something.
Very solid.
I helped a client long eons ago. One of my first client ever. I helped him trademark a slogan for his company, and the thing is, they, through the search process, go back and look and see if there's anything similar to that, and if you're too close to something that's already out there, it's probably not going to get approved. So if you have something really unique that you think, is going to kind of just take off, then go for it.
I don't know as much about trademarking. If you've used it for several years, like
so
3
you
to
have
5,
to.
does that help? Okay.
Yeah. So that does help. That does help the process. So when I helped him with it, obviously I'm not an attorney, but we used an online service, and they did all of the legwork of keeping up with the paperwork and everything, but I just had to keep going back and checking up and seeing what else they needed from us.
It's a long process, isn't it?
And
Almost
it took
up to a year.
Yeah, I think with his stuff it took, we had been using that phrase for a couple of years already, so it helped to have that out on different websites and social media platforms to establish that it was legitimate. So it took, I think it was a little over 6 months, 6 to 8 months-ish, probably.
I feel like that's kind of common. That's what
yeah.
I've heard from other people.
Yeah, but if anyone needs help with that, I actually do have a good referral for them for an attorney here locally in the Virginia Beach area. That her Tidewater Legal Services, Crystal Clark. She's fantastic. So I highly recommend that if you have any kind of legal issues or needs at all, to reach out to them. They're very, very good. Yeah, so trademarking, you might need to do it, maybe. Let's see, I have more questions? No. All right, well, let's go ahead and answer this last question, and then I think we'll wrap up. Definitely hit our 5-minute-ish mark. So the last question that we got was, how do I increase my brand awareness and recognition?
Consistency.
Well, that's a big, long answer. But I think I'm going to tease you a little bit and say that's about what we're to hit next. So we're wrapping up branding today. And then we're going to move into
social media.
Yeah, we're going to move into marketing, and then we're going to kick it off with social media marketing in particular.
Yes.
So next Friday, join us back here on our page. We'll go live on, oh, no, you're going to be out of town.
I will be out of town.
Yep.
This Friday.
So
next Friday.
We'll probably pre-record our episode for next week.
Yes.
But we'll talk about social media marketing. So increasing your brand awareness and recognition, that's actually marketing, that's not branding. So we will dig into all things social media for the next several weeks. So I hope that everyone will tune in for that topic as well.
Yeah, make sure to check out the workshops that we have coming up. I think we're scheduled out through October.
Yep. Yeah, we have workshops all the way through the end of October. So go on createcaptivate.com on the events page, or bizconnecthr.com to view those listings. And hopefully we'll see you back here or at an event in person.
Yeah.
All right. Have a great weekend, friends.
Bye.
Bye.